Dan, nice to talk to you again. Two stories here, and let's take, yeah, of course, two stories here one by one. The CIA director going over there to negotiate, trying to get all hostages back. I would guess that would be part of some grand deal. If there is a major deal, a grand deal here, what do you think that looks like?
I think a grand deal, I mean, it's hard to know exactly, but it'll be some version of a very long ceasefire. There's been talk of something like up to 2 months of a ceasefire, the release of a lot of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli prisons, and a path by Israel, the Israelis lay out a path to some sort of two-state solution, some sort of Palestinian state. I think the challenge here is that as Israel gets deeper and deeper into Gaza, into the south, past Khan Yunis, and even in farther south than that part of central Gaza, that is where the leadership of Hamas is. And that is where many believe that a lot of the hostages are, because the hostages are being used as human shields around the leadership of Hamas, like Dan Senor and Mohammed Def. They want the hostages there because they think that's their last line of defense. So as Israel gets deeper and deeper into that area, not only do they risk the lives of Israeli soldiers who are going into these dangerous areas, including underground, but there also is a real risk for these hostages that the Hamas is hanging on to, which I don't think they're going to want to be so quick to let go of.
What do you make of these 49 Democratic senators calling for a two-state solution right now? It's basically every Democratic senator.
I think it is fine in principle. I have no idea how you implement a two-state solution anytime in the near term. You have the leadership of Hamas saying that if they could do October 6th
what do you mean
all
by
over
near
again,
term?
they would.
When you say near term, what is near term in your view?
I don't see a Palestinian state, an actual, real, sovereign Palestinian state being created within the next year or two. You could have state minus, you can have a Palestinian flag, you can have some of the infrastructure of sovereignty. You're not going to have a Palestinian military as part of a state. They're not going to be responsible for securing their border with Israel or with Egypt. You have the leaders of Hamas right now saying they would do October 6th all over again. You have Hamas leaders outside of Gaza, like Khalid Mashal, who's basically saying the river to the sea and from Rosh Nikra down to Eilat. They want the whole thing. They want all of Israel. They want all Jews out. And the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank, which many look to as a possible government for a Palestinian state, has still not condemned what Hamas did on October 7th. And they are still indoctrinating their young people, providing rewards for terrorists and their families that kill Jews. So there's no obvious administrator of a Palestinian state. So that's what I mean. It's fine in principle. It's an abstract conversation. It's just totally disconnected from the reality, which was there was a genocidal attempt on Jews in Israel on October 7th, and there's no way you are going to get Jews living in Israel feeling comfortable with any resolution, especially Jews living who want to move back to southern Israel, until that area is secure. And I don't see a Palestinian state so far that can give them that security.
Dan Senor, got to leave it there. Thank you for the time, as always, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.